These former NBA players no longer have that Trinity funding that they once relied on. Okay, so let's put this disclaimer forward right off the bat. Some of the gentlemen on his list are not exactly broke or poor when it comes down to the proper definition of the word. However, when you consider the millions that they earn during their respective NBA careers and you flip it into the real world money, then yes, chances are you and I have more money and more financial stability than these former pro ballers. Okay, so let's jump into the straight list. There are the few of players which are more poor than you can even imagine. Number one is Letrel Sprewell. There were many things happened to him. His vicious attack on the rim, choking his coach, and what might be top 5 NBA soundbite, "I've got my family to feed." By the time Spree had gotten to Minnesota, he is not quite the explosive scorer he once was during his time in New York or Golden State, but he still was a capable starter who averaged triple digits. After helping the T-Wolves to their best outing in team history, Sprewell famously turned down 3 years contract which was worth about $21 million. With nearly $100 million already in his pocket, Sprewell found himself without a team and over the years without many of the millions he once had, due to foreclosure on his homes and debts that he had owed and the taxes had gone unpaid. Number 2. Pippen. With the Chicago Bulls, he was one of the most underpaid players in the league history, earning as much or little as $3.4 million a season with the Bulls. Pippen didn't start ranking in the big money until he was traded to the Houston Rockets. For the next 5 years between Houston and Portland, Pippen made up for the Bulls' financial undercutting by pulling in over $77 million of his career, total making $110 million, and endorsement by big wings like McDonald's, Coke, Nike, and you'd think that Pipe was holding his own. Unfortunately, with this horrible spending decision, like the plane he owned that wouldn't fly also, a nasty divorce and a bad investment, he have left 33 with just over half of his fortune. Number 3, Kenny Anderson. Mr. Chips was a basketball prodigy growing up in New York. After being an all-everything as a prep star, Anderson left the Big Apple for Georgia Tech and eventually the NBA. After 15 years and 9 different teams, the crafty points guard would leave the league with the total of near $64 million in career earnings. Not too bad for a kid from Queens. One would assume he'd be set for life, right? Nope, it's wrong. Sadly, Anderson's spending far exceeded his income. When you add in 2 marriages and 7 children with various different mothers, throw in foolish investment and a flock of expensive cars to keep up, and it's no wonder that extra zeros in his bank accounts are nearly gone. Allen Iverson. Imagine having nearly $200 million to spend. Now imagine having to sign your name on bankruptcy papers stating that you have spent pretty much everything you have. Iverson was one of many NBA players who came from a life of struggle and hard times. He felt the need to take care of his family and friends who stood by him through his journey from the bottom to the top. Cars, clothes, jewelry, houses, and vacations were just some of the expenses that his earnings paid for during his entire time in the NBA. While he has still made some money with the public appearances during his retirement, Iverson's debts are more than eating up his earnings. Thankfully, the good people at Reebok were thinking on the Iverson's behalf when he signed with the brand. In addition to his yearly payment for the duration of his life, Reebok also set aside a trust fund for Iverson to access in 2030. Number 5, Jasson Caffey. He may be a 2-time NBA champion, thanks in a larger part to Mr. Jordan and Pippen, but as far as being a winner in life, the former Chicago Bulls forward has pretty much failed since leaving the NBA. Despite banking over $34 million over the decade of his professional playing career, the Alabama Crimson Tide alumni struggled to reach into his wallet for a couple of bucks in order to protect himself and the 8 women that have mothered his 10 children. Sure, Caffey is not the only one baby maker in NBA history, but he's one of few who has been arrested for failing to pay his child support, at the same time filed for bankruptcy. Here is hoping those kids' mothers had a good job. Hope you like our video. Please subscribe to our channel.